To say the Silver Ferns have had an up and down couple of years is a bit of an understatement. From the lows on the Gold Coast to world champ highs, the constant battles with Australia, and then picking up bronze at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. So how is the team getting ready for their 2023 World Cup in South Africa? Kia ora Aotearoa, I'm Zoe George and this is the Podium Summer Series. Sports news but not as you know it from Stuff. To give us a glimpse into how the build-up's going, Silver Ferns coach Dame Northland, welcome to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, what a 2022 it was for the Ferns and what a 2023 it's going to be with the World Cup coming up. So when do you start preparing for the World Cup, or have you started?
Look, honestly, I feel we started preparing for the World Cup 4 years ago. Straight after Netball World Cup that we had in 2019, and obviously winning is such a fantastic experience, but also your mind as a coach moves very fast to the next Netball World Cup. Not necessarily around defending it, but hey, how can you replicate that? How can you get the trophy in the cabinet? What you need to do and the planning that goes in and around it. So it feels like a very long time and I can't wait. And this January we go off to South Africa, and that is probably the last time for a lot of players to put yourself out there and see what we look like against the opposition.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're selected for that series and you get to go, does that mean you're a shoo-in for the World Cup, or do you still have to work hard?
You've got to work hard, and sometimes, honestly, and I'm talking to myself here, I feel so sorry for the players. Sometimes you're at the hands or the mercy of either the coach or selectors. But in saying that, there's moments of time that you learn on the job. Every opportunity that you get to wear the black dress is an opportunity for yourself to show what you have. Your ability to work against a certain opposition and to show that you're ready. So, and a lot of it's just age and stage. More experience you get, the more understanding about what your role is, what your job is, and it gets to a point where you just can't rely on talent. So that's probably where we're currently at with some players.
What will be your focus in the months, weeks, and then days in the build-up to the World Cup?
Yeah, we just finished our trials just over the weekend. So that's a big tick off the list now. And we move into January quad series, which is our last hurrah, I suppose, prior to Netball World Cup. And we'll play Australia, England, and South Africa. So that's the first stage, I suppose, of the planning. Then when we come back, they go into their domestic competition, and that runs over maybe 5-6 months. And what I expect out of that time is, because they've got time with their teams and they only play one game per week, you would expect from a selectors or a head coach that you can see shifts. So that's what I expect coming out of that frame, and ensuring that we're really clear as coaches that this is what we want you to work on. This is the support that will go around you, and it's up to you now with the support of your club. So that's the next bit. And then July, August, we're in selection mode, which is Netball World Cup. So it's all on.
Without giving the game away too much, but what would you say is the Ferns' strongest area?
Oh my gosh, I would like to think we have a point of difference. We have unique people who have a varied skill set. I would like to think that that's one of our strengths. When I look at Australia, they have a very clear program and a pathway. Not that they're robotic, because they do that very, very well, but they're very clear about what athlete that they're looking for. Sometimes if you don't fit in that mold, then you're not in. But, what comes out is really disciplined, athletic players. Whereas I would like to think in New Zealand, we do have that, but also we like the uniqueness of individuals, and how when you bring somebody with somebody else, how that connection is so strong more as a collective. We have a certain strategy, so we play defensively more space, more zone. That sets us apart from anybody else. And I would like to think around that uniqueness is that creativity. So that's probably another arm that I think we have difference to other teams.
Okay, then, where's the growth area for the Ferns in 2023? I mean, bronze at the Commonwealth Games wasn't bad, but I know it was hard work. Let's just not talk about that. So, where's the growth areas for the Ferns?
Yeah, I think with our current squad, just going back on that Commonwealth Games, we had a lot of young people in there, and because of people being injured or pregnant or whatever. So, around that, I strongly believe we could have come first, but we could have come fourth. The scope of what's sort of happening in international netball is getting so close, which is great for our sport, but a headache for us because it's not just us in Australia now. So, the growth that I would like us to get into is the game within the game, is what I say. Our ability to control the momentum, to control the ball, and not get so hooked up in what the opposition's going to do to us. So, for example, when they put the pressure on us and we know certain teams are going to do certain things to us, instead of being reactive and victims, let's predict what they're going to do and let's be one step ahead and really train what's going to happen out on court so that we are comfortable in those uncomfortable spaces. And we're, as a coaching group, just starting to put scenarios out on court as to how we teach the players to that level of awareness that we're looking for.
I mean, we know Australia, we know England, we know Jamaica. Who are going to be the dark horses of the World Cup?
Well, I would like to think us. I know we are number one netball World Cup coming out of 2019. We've had people in and out. To some degree, we've been holding on for dear life because we haven't quite had the firepower that we've wanted. But then, woof, out we come, So, we've got some great people that's involved. They'll come back. We've got a better understanding of ourselves. I've had more time to build the strategy. So now the strategy is cemented and we're moving into a different place. I would like to say we're going to be the dark horses. We're going to produce something different that no one's seen, and we're going to move into that space. So we've seen Aussie, I've seen England, I've seen them all. They've had their main firepower out there, and now it's our time to shine. So I'm going to put money on us.
Yes, I'm going to put money on you too. I was going to say you've got a really good, strong, solid squad right now. How hard is it to make the phone call and be like, mate, you're amazing, but we're not taking you?
I hate that. It's just an area when I think of stress levels, it's on top of everything. And it's the one thing that I hate about my job. And I say hate, and I know it's a strong word, but it is. I really feel for the players because I can see the work that they've done. And it's such an art, I must say, to be able to know that you need to be consistent and be able to present yourself in the best possible light all the time. It's not just a one-off. But you can see in a lot of young ones, especially, their eyes light up and you can see their heart break. So that's the worst part of my job, and it is part of the job, and it's making sure once again that I'm clear on the plans, that my communication is clear so that they know what's required from them. And I think I'm as human as possible, that I don't make excuses up because sometimes it's just not the right time, and just sometimes they're just not the right person that we're looking for because it's around the other mix. So I really look to be as honest as possible and really try and work the supports that go in and around that person.
So that's the worst part of your job. What's the best part?
The best part obviously is winning. There's nothing better than that, but winning in a way that it's a really good game. It's not, you haven't won because it's just been a toss of a coin, and it could have been anybody, and our skill sets were bad or our strategy was bad. It's like you've won because you're the best team. And I'm actually all right, I'm fine when you lose, but you've done your best and the product looks really good out there. So that's one point. And the second thing that I love is when you see people shift, and the shifts could be made on court, like with your skill sets or performance, or the shifts around when people's eyes light up that they've got it, or they've made some sort of improvement in, I don't know, priority number one, or something that they've identified as an area that they wanted to work on. I love that space, and to be a part of that moment is really special.
I love that. Well, it's been wonderful to talk to you. Before I let you go, can the Silver Ferns defend their World Cup championship?
Yes, we can. And I'm going to change the wording around defend. We're going to win the Netball World Cup. And I'm excited to get out there and do what we need to do, knowing that we've got 6 or 7 months, and I can't wait.
Well, we can't wait either, and we look forward to talking with you more in the build-up.
Thanks, Zoe.
And that's it for this bonus summer episode of The Podium. I'm Zoe George, and on behalf of our guests this week, Dame Northland Taurua, producers Jono Williams and Philippa Tolley, and audio editor Connor Scott, thanks for listening. You can now get in touch with us. Email thepodium@staff.co.nz and make sure you like and follow us wherever you get your podcast from, so you never miss an episode. Until next time, ngā mihi, go well.
And these fighter pilots, they're testifying because they have actually said that they've seen UFOs.
Yeah, so one of them says they saw one in 2004, but then the other one says he has seen a UFO every day for the last couple of years.
He was drinking this strange liquid out of a drink bottle that he said came from a cactus.
Every day. The hearing was kind of frustrating and a bit weird, and this is where it gets a little bit like, what's going on? Because sometimes...
this is where it gets like that, is it? For everything that's worth talking about, find and follow Newsable wherever you get your podcasts.
Newsable, brought to you by BNZ.